What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TWA Motorsports, and today we're taking care of something that's been just bothering me ever since I bought this Sierra, and that is the taillights. So I just, look, for a couple reasons. One, I just don't like this look. This is not my favorite look on these trucks. You guys know in a previous video we replaced the third brake light because I didn't like it either. And so now we're going to be replacing the taillights. Now look, there's not a lot of options out there for a step side. There's a billion options out there for a fleet side, but the step side only has about 3 or 4 real options, and this is one of them. And the downside is I don't love the orange ambers in the factory ones, but I like it better than this. So that's what we are going to be doing today, as well as some more cleanup on this thing. Here's what I'm hoping to get accomplished in this video. Hoping to not only get the taillights in, obviously we got some new bulbs. I've got some LED backup bulbs there. I'll list all of this stuff in the description down below. I just used a set of these in my dad's truck and they seem to work really well. But the lights, the bulbs, I don't like using LEDs in my taillights. I know some people do. Sometimes there's an issue with the cruise control working afterwards. I'm not gonna be using them. So either way, we're gonna get the taillights out. And then guys, I know you can see those imperfections in the paint. So kind of what I've done here is, as I've addressed different areas. So when we did the door handles, I paint corrected part of the doors. And when we put the third brake light in, I paint corrected the top and the sides. And so when we did the bumper and coated the back side of the bumper and did all the stuff like putting the hitch on, I paint corrected the areas that are behind the bumper. So today, I don't know if I'm gonna get all the way down here, but I definitely want to get, the area around the taillight for sure. I think probably, guys, because there's no good way to end. You could see that I kind of messed with an area here. I don't want to get real aggressive, but I'd like to fix that too. So I'd like to go, basically, I've done from there down. I'd like to go from here up and then all the way down the whole rest of the bedside. Are we gonna get it done? I don't know. But either way, we're gonna start here with the taillights. I know there's a bunch of junk back behind those pockets that I need to clean out. I also am missing a screw on one side. I'm gonna have to locate another one, but we need to get a Phillips, get these old ones out of place. Now, one of the other things I talked about in the last video was the reverse light in this never set in there correctly. So it just kind of loosely fit in there, but look at how gross this is. And I know you guys are probably wondering, well, why didn't you clean that when you got it off trying to feed for the backup camera? Well, I knew we were going to be doing this, and so I'm going to go ahead and off camera, we're going to wipe that out and get all that nastiness out of there. Look, a lot of stuff gets built up in the back of a truck, especially around a taillight where dirt can get in, but it's not easy to get out. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with these housings. I might list them for sale like really cheap. And no, I don't really want to ship them if anybody's interested that's not local to me, but I'm gonna go ahead, see if we can get this one off and then grab some towels and stuff and start cleaning that area. Now that we've got that all cleaned up, and man, does that look better. I'm gonna go ahead and get this area right here. So this plastic right here, I'm gonna tape it off because we don't want any compound on it. And then I'm probably, since we spent the time to clean up the bumper here, I'm gonna probably just cover it in plastic would be my guess. I just don't want a bunch of junk on that either. So let's get those two things accomplished. I may just go ahead and tape this whole thing, and that way it's ready to paint correct and maybe pushes me to finish this. Although, guys, I'm telling you, I really just want to do the taillights. It's just they drive me crazy. But we're gonna try here. I gotta go grab my buffer. I'm gonna get both of them out this time. The little one for this, around this pocket, and then the bigger one to, do a little more area. But that's the plan. Now, I actually already clay barred this area a while back. I clay barred the whole truck from there over. I don't know why I redid it on this one, but anyway, we're gonna start off with what we normally do, which is some microfiber. I've got my little 3-inch because of the area we're working with. I'm gonna go around the taillight pocket, then I'm gonna work my way up here, and then we're gonna kind of divide it in this area right here. So once I get that finished, we can go to the other side, do it, and then we can take the, we can go to the M205, and then we'll worry about going forward here after a while with a bigger buffer. But you can see I've got plastic, it's just a trash bag over this. And like I said, guys, I already went from here down, and I actually kind of snuck up onto that, but we're gonna do it again. I think I'll time lapse a majority of this, guys, but you'll be able to see, there's a ton of little marring and scratches and whatnot, and I think we'll be able to get a majority of those out. We've also obviously got the top taped up. We want to keep all the compound off the plastics that we can. It just makes a mess. It's just harder to clean up. So let's get started on this. So this thing is black, but hopefully you guys can see where we started and stopped. So obviously the hazing, and that's a lot of dust there, but you can see the difference in the paint. And I went over this twice. So what I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm one of those impatient people that doesn't like to wait. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side since I've got this on, and then we're gonna switch over to the M205 with the smaller foam pad, go around this same area, trace this same area, and then we can put the taillights in because I'm impatient. But I don't like to come up against the taillights when I'm buffing. Sometimes you can burn them or, kind of mar them or something. So that's why I wanted to do this before I put the taillight in. And then, and the other thing is if I decide to quit, I can quit at this point and not have to go that far. So we'll just see kind of where we go. Now we switched over to that smaller foam pad, which I actually wish I had I don't think it'd do as well, but I wish I had like a 2-inch microfiber for areas like this, But we're gonna do this area with the M205, and it really takes out, you can tell on black especially, it takes out all those little hazy marks that the M100 leaves behind. And it's definitely way easier to use a pad like this than a microfiber, I'll tell you that, because it's just way smoother. So just look, hopefully you can see it in the light. Look at the difference as we go down. It's absolutely insane. So the other thing, you want to be careful on these because, and I may end up using my bigger buffer. I know I'm going to switch over to my bigger buffer, but when I say be careful, the clear on the top of these are really, really thin. And so I don't know that I want to use a microfiber on the actual top side of the fenders. I know we're not going to be able to get as much correction because we're not going to be cutting as deep, but I really think, guys, I'm going to use the M205 on the majority of the rest of the bed. So I'm not going to get the M100 and the microfiber pad because I'm really, really afraid. I've got a couple spots that have popped, and so I'm afraid that if I get too aggressive, we're gonna end up with a mess. So that's what my next plan is. Obviously, we've got this done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the taillights now, and then we'll talk about it or show you a time lapse of me going the rest of the way. But let's get these taillights going. So now moving on to the bulbs. Here's what we've got. Obviously, this one is your reverse bulb because it's got the green on it. So what we want to do here is, holy cow, and they're like charcoal. Those are where we're going to put the LEDs in that one. But these guys here, these are just standard. And like I said, guys, I'm going to use standard replacements. So these are, I think they're 3157s. And that's what we're going to replace them with. They're dual element. And I got a whole box of those you guys saw earlier on the truck bed. So we're going to get those out. And on the new ones, I like to use some dielectric grease. So I bought a pack of 10 of these. So we got, if I can get them out of here, got these guys here. And then I've got some dielectric grease that I use. I generally don't use it on the LEDs, but I will use it on these. Just kind of keeps the socket from getting so crusty for one, and then it kind of helps keep moisture out of the socket as well. Definitely recommend it if you're using these kind of bulbs, these halogen style. And you don't have to use a lot. And then I'm gonna have to get something to cut the LEDs open. Got those both in, and this will be something that we test obviously before we put the taillight in. For the LED, I like these Zevo bulbs. They just seem to last a long time. They work really well. I don't know, it's just kind of my preference. There are some other brands out there. These I like because it seems like all the other brands have like a gold housing, and I hate that because you can see it through the clear of the reverse light. So that's why I generally don't like using those and go to the Zevos, and the Zevos last. So I'm gonna plug the other side in, and then we'll stand back, and my son's out here, so I'll have him step on the brake, and then we'll try the reverse light and make sure that everything's working. All right, we're gonna test these. Step on the brake first. Okay, we got brake lights. All right, turn the key on and then turn the left turn signal on. Holy cow. It's flashing fast. Huh. All right, maybe I don't have one of them seated all the way. Take your foot off the brake. That's the right one, it's working. Right. Turn it back to the left. Okay, we'll have to, I'm gonna take that one out and make sure it's good. All right, turn that off and then put it in reverse. You don't have to start it. Okay, we got our reverse lights are working on, wow, one's brighter than the other, or maybe, I don't know if you can put them in backwards. This one over here is like ridiculously bright. All right, I'm gonna flip this one over. So the bulb was just a little loose here. So go hit the brake while that turn signal's on. All right, we're good, guys. So now I can clean this pocket up, wipe it down one more time, and we will take a look at the new housings. So here we are, ready to put these new ones in. So guys, it's nothing special here because we are going back with the stock style. So you can see what I'm talking about with the ambers. Now, here's what I have seen people do. They have candied, you can tape this off and candy this, and it looks really nice. And I may end up doing that down the road, but for now, I'm just so disgusted with those and the fact the reverse light pops out that I want something different. I don't like the look of those. And so this is what we're gonna go with. And these go back in just like the old ones came out. We just gotta twist the bulbs in. I did find, my son found another screw that's the same size. So now we can actually have 2 screws in the driver's side instead of 1. So I'm gonna get those put in real quick. We'll step back and we'll have him test the lights again, making sure everything's good. So hit the brake first. All right, we got brakes. Okay, got a right turn signal. Got a left turn signal. Got reverse. Woo! So much better looking. All right, we're gonna see how far I wanna go down the side of the truck. And then we'll kind of step back and take a look at it all once we're finished. But oh, this makes me feel so much better, guys. I hated those other lights. And look, the gaps on these aren't perfect. You're not gonna get a perfect gap with an aftermarket light. At least I have yet to find a manufacturer that does. But what I will say about TYC is it's like COPA certified for like body shops and whatnot that are offering replacements. That's kind of why I use them. It's the best you can get in my opinion. So it's not a cheapy eBay one, but yet it's not as expensive as the originals, and I don't even think you can get an original anymore. Here's what I've decided to do. I went over a section here and I'm gonna show you, but I was recording it and you just can't see what's going on. There's just not enough angle to get you guys an idea of how much correction's going on. Here's what I will tell you though. From where I quit with the 100 to where I started with the 205, you can see some marring here, but I did this section. So from here to here is just M205. But like I said, there's a couple spots here where the clear is super thin, and I don't want to blow any of it off. So I know that these aren't quite as aggressive as a rotary, obviously, but at the same time, I'm just looking to clean up the paint. I'm not trying to pull any more scratches out of this. I don't want to go too far. So that's where I'm at. I'm just going to show you guys once I'm finished. I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way down. I mean, you could tell to where I did kind of one long coat here. I didn't really spend a bunch of time, but you can see where it stopped and how, you know, messed up the paint is. There's a big piece of bird poop right there. And I don't even know if I'm going to get to this point. If I do, I'm either going to have to tape these off or get underneath. There's just 3 clips. You can unclip them. That's really probably the best way, just to get them completely out of the way. So we'll just concentrate on going from here back for now, and then I'll just kind of cut in randomly and show you guys the progress. Well, we are knocking it out as a team here. My son is actually using the smaller one, which actually works a little better in these areas like, you know, where the Stepside is. This sucks. Still got some area you can see here at the top. But ultimately, guys, we were talking about, could we get some of this stuff out? And we probably could, but like I said, this spot right here is a spot that's broke. There's no clear there. And so if we did, I'm afraid that we would go into it. So it's looking a lot better. It's definitely cleaning up. You can see, you know, kind of the point that he's gotten, and he's actually, I think, working on the bottom below the step. But we did take the steps off. I've been using the Rupes on the other side, which obviously does a little bit quicker work, but it doesn't fit in these like cracks and crevices very well. But the steps are relatively easy to take off. He actually got under there while I was pulling up, and there's clips. There's only 5 clips, and that's what clips that thing in. So we're gonna clean those up off camera and snap them back into place after we get this all finished. But I think for the most part, my side is almost complete. I'm gonna put a little bit of just cheap, I don't even know what it's called. Let me go grab it over here. I've got some coating that I like to use, and it seems to work pretty good, honestly, guys. But it is Ethos. It's like a pro ceramic wax. So either way, it seems to last, and I had it laying around, so that's what I'm using on it. In a perfect scenario, if you get it like super straight, you would want to like put some sort of ceramic coating on it. That would be best. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and slather this side down with that, let it set for about 10 minutes, and then I'll wipe it off, and then he's going to continue on the other side. Got one side setting in that wax, other side completely done. Definitely looking better. I pulled the tape off, but then my son cleaned both sides of this with a brush and some super clean, and then I've got some silk shine, and the only reason I'm using silk shine is because it's what's out here. Normally I would use what I treated the bumper with in that last video, but these are actually in really good shape. So I kind of spray this silk shine on and then brush it around and let it set for maybe 20-30 minutes and wipe the other side down, get the tape off, and ultimately I think we're pretty close to finish. We obviously got to snap these things back into place. There is an RH and an LH on the bottom of these, so you know which side goes where, but they are shaped a little different. We are all finished up at this point, got those pieces just snapped back on, and all you have to do is just push on them, but they look way better. Of course, the paint looks a lot better. It's not perfect, definitely looks better, but the whole point was to get rid of those ugly taillights. Holy cow, dude, I hate those. And so I did this side. This side's probably not as good since he did it. Yeah, there's more scratches over here. No, actually, he did a really good job on this side. I actually think on these contours, the little one works a little better, just because you can get in these areas where it curves so much. But like I said, didn't want to get real crazy. Probably could have got some more of these out, but we may have risked blowing through the clear to get it done. So either way, it's looking a lot better. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of this thing, how it's coming together. What do you think I should do on the front as far as lights? That I have an idea, but I want to get rid of these here. And we still have to paint correct the front fenders. Still waiting on the hood to come back. Still waiting on the tailgate. So we got a lot of stuff to come, but if you did like this video, please, guys, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, guys, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Of course, while you're down there doing all of that stuff, ring the bell icon that notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see what we do on this truck next.